So we're going to head up the creek today. We've been waiting all day for the wind to die down, and it finally has this evening. So we're going to go and see if we can see any moose. No moose. We went up as far as the dam, which is quite high now, but didn't see any moose or ducks or beavers. We heard something in the water, but it could have been a pike or a muskrat. And then it started to rain, so we came back. Trev has now gone out on the canoe, and he is just scouting around. He likes to get out there and just float around and look at things. It's kind of neat looking out there where the wind has touched some parts of the lake, and in the middle there it's still pretty calm. Looks kind of cool. And the wind is coming up, so Trev may come back pretty soon, and I'm sure he'll appreciate some coffee when he gets back. The wind has suddenly really come up, and Trev is still out there in the canoe. I'm hoping he is okay because we have lots of wind happening. I can't see him anywhere on the lake, so he must be around the corner. But yeah, I think he'll be back pretty quick. Can hear things hitting the roof of the kitchen. Pine cones falling out of the trees. It came up really suddenly. So while I'm waiting for the coffee to perk, I'm going to clean off the shelves that I have all my bottles on, or my big jars of dry goods. So up here I have things like barley and rice, and this is a vegetable flake mix that we get from the bulk store in BC that is really good for adding to soups. It just adds all kinds of vegetables. There's potatoes and carrots and peppers and things like that in there. It's really nice. So we buy it by the case. And pancake mix, chocolate chips, almonds, brown sugar, and then we have the dogs and cats treats over here. And then on the bottom shelf I keep stuff basically for making porridge. We eat a lot of porridge. We eat porridge just about every morning, or oatmeal. And I haven't taken these big bottles off of here since we got here. So Gracie was chasing a mouse on here the other night. I could hear the bottles clicking together and her scurrying around here. And sure enough, in the morning there was a dead mouse waiting for me in the kitchen. I took some of the self-adhesive flooring tiles that I pick up at the Restore or the secondhand store from leftover flooring jobs. I cut them to fit here, and it makes it way easier to clean it. I'm gonna give it a spray with some bleachy water and just wipe it off and put all the jars back. And as I put the jars back, I'm gonna wipe them off as well. A little bit of mouse poo over in this corner here. Been pretty good this year though, as far as mice leaving their telltale sign that they've been here. We seem to have gotten away pretty easily this year as far as not having to do a whole lot of cleanup. Gracie's caught, I think, 4 mice since we've been here. I use a lot more paper towel here than I do at home. I go through maybe a roll of paper towel every 6 months when we're at home, but we're never home for 6 months. But yeah, I don't use a lot of paper towel at home. When you have running water, you can rinse a cloth out, but here it's just easier to use paper towel. So this is just regular rolled oats. We don't use quick oats. Today is Una's birthday, so she's going to be getting a Spam cake this evening for her birthday. It's a tradition in our family to give our dogs a whole thing of Spam with a candle in it for their birthdays, and she's 2 years old today. So there we are. I still have to do the top shelf, but I'm going to have coffee first because it's done. Trev ended up leaving the canoe down where we left it the other day when we came up the creek. And he's just looked out the window and realized that our red canoe is missing. It was down below the cabin here and it's gone. Be down that way, wouldn't it?
No, I don't think.
But I mean, it could be across the lake.
I just hope it didn't flip over.
Yeah. I don't like that canoe anyway. There's your birthday cake. It's October 11th and we are getting our first snowfall. There's a couple of swans taking a break on the lake today. We've had quite a few come through, but not for a few days. just felt like I needed to get out for a walk today before cabin fever started to set in. When it's winter and there's snow on the ground and the lake is frozen over, we make skidoo trails on the lake for the dogs and I to walk on. I get out every day. Doesn't matter if it's snowing, what the temperature is, I get out every day and try to do 10,000 steps on the lake, just doing different configurations of the trails that I have out there. Sometimes I do it in snowshoes, sometimes cross-country skis, but I have to get out every day to get the fresh air, for one thing, but also exercise and try to avoid getting cabin fever, which is a real thing if you spend too much time inside. One thing we're getting a lot of this fall that we didn't get much of at all last year, especially once winter hit, is wind. We have a little wind generator that Trev uses to charge up the 12-volt batteries that we use on the canoe with a little motor on it. That has been keeping the batteries charged quite well this fall. We didn't get any wind last winter, at least. The snow stayed in the trees until it warmed up, really, which is kind of weird because usually we'll get a big wind and all the snow comes tumbling out of the trees and then it's all green again. And now we're kind of making up for it this fall. So we've gotten some pretty scary winds. There was, I'm trying to remember what the weather report said, some kind of typhoon thing coming over from Alaska, across Alaska, through the Yukon. And it was supposed to start around 2:30 in the afternoon. It didn't start until after nightfall, but holy moly, it was a big wind. It even pushed the tree over far enough that it pulled Una's cable run that we have going from the cabin out to the big tree. It pushed that big tree over enough, it didn't knock it over, but pushed it over enough that it pulled the cable off of the cabin. So Trev had to fix that the next day. It felt good to be snug and warm in the cabin with the dogs and the cat. Of course, when I choose to come out on my walk today, just as I'm leaving, this big wind comes up. So I am being quite conscious of listening for the cracking of tree trunks because we do get a lot of trees that come down in the wind here. Being right against the lake, the wind just comes whipping across the lake and knocks down trees. But it's nice to be out, even though it's windy and not sunny. Still nice to be out in the fresh air. I've been cleaning up the cabin and getting things more organized, as well as catching up on my reading and my crocheting. motel. One of the occupants telling me off. From our little cabin in the Yukon to wherever you are, take care.